The objective is to restore the moral authority of this country, our moral standing in the world, our leadership in the world. And it begins with the American middle class at home, and to recapture our government for the American people and to take it away from these, this corrupt merger.
And both sides should agree on what you're saying, but are you being heard? How are you going to communicate this if you are unable to do a debate? The Democrat leadership will not have you there on stage, or anybody. They've got their guy. Are you being heard? Can you assess the response you've gotten from the Democrat Party?
Well, it's interesting to me because I've been really, slammed in a way that I think is unprecedented, even more than President Trump was slammed by the mainstream, by the corporate media. But this Harris-Harvard poll came out, which is a gold standard poll, I think 2,500 people yesterday. It showed that my popularity is greater than by I think 20 points and any other political candidate. So somehow the American people are hearing what I'm saying. I don't know whether it's through the podcast or through social media. My unfavorability ratings should be off the charts if people believe. I mean, listen, if I believe the stuff that's written about me in the papers and reported about me on the mainstream news sites, I would not have anything. I would definitely not vote for me, and I would not, I would think I was a very despicable person.
Well,
that's where he's totally being honest. He says, show me your scientific evidence, I'll show you mine. And then if yours is right, okay. I'll admit that, I was the scientist I hired. I'm not a scientist. But I look for the top scientists and the top experts, and they're experts in the field, so I believe them. So I quote them. But if you could show me that yours are right and mine are wrong, then I'll be the first person to say, okay, I was wrong. It's like, look, I'm with Peter. There's obviously 4,000 plus immoral, moronic, cartoon, zero scientific evidence God frauds that make no sense, no common sense, and have zero obvious scientific evidence. And there's one real, blatant, obvious, all moral, all common sense, all scientific evidence God. So I put that God, the one and only real one in the history of the world and the history of the world, against all your 4,000 plus God frauds. And plus my God, which is everybody's God, whether you admit it or not, is down here using divine intervention. I don't fail to mention. That's why I'm not going to be dead with a bullet of lead in my head, like my uncle and my father. Nobody could bother me. Or maybe Peter, maybe I'm fooling Peter, maybe I'm despicable, deplorable, horrible, and immoral, the way the Democrats are trying to say I am in the Republicans.
Somehow
they're telling your story. I mean, they're going to tell the whatever story they want to tell. I want to get your take on this issue of corruption in government, because we've been talking all morning about the fact that we've got these new bank records from the Oversight Committee that shows Joe Biden took in millions of dollars and his family. And we don't know what specific policy decisions he changed as a result of why did he get paid? What do you think about that? I mean, there's an actual conversation underway about impeaching Joe Biden because of this. You know that?
Yeah, I have avoided criticizing the president because I'm trying to bring people together and end some of the vitriol.
See, he's right. You bring people together. Like, he knows Putin is a despicable, deplorable, horrible, immoral soul out of control, like Trump. But he's not. But he's smart. He doesn't want people to go to war. So he wants to sit down with Putin and sit down with the other disgusting people in the other countries who love war and say, look, we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about this and see what our likes are and our dislikes and what our wants and don't wants. And we're going to come to a fair agreement. And no greedy side is going to get everything they want. You got to look at all the morals, like how what's stopping our country from being able to live good compared to your country, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's common sense. Every problem is common sense. There's a huge problem. It's called pollution. Guess how you stop it? You make pollution against the law. There's another problem, war and killing. There's a way to stop it. You make it against world law. There's a problem, corruption. There's a way to stop a lot of it, most of it. Put lie detector tests, FBI lie detector tests in every courtroom so the judges can no longer be fudges, the attorneys can no longer be Ernie and Bernie, and the prosecutors can no longer be executors, and the police have to be po-nice. And so obviously, everybody exposed knows how to fix all those despicable, deplorable, horrible, immoral things and souls out of control. But the powers that be don't want to fix that. That's the Supreme Court. That's the Supreme Court. How supreme is the Supreme Court? Against the one and only God Almighty. Is there Jesus going to stop the one and only cop at the top from dropping humanly impossible pains in their mainframes and into their brains? A yes or B no. Let us know when you have that answer.